Our discussion today, well, it centers on a really fundamental transformation happening in teaching. It's all spurred by AI integration, as documented quite well in the source material, Learning to Teach Again, my first year with AI.
Right, and that text details a teacher's pretty intense encounter with AI tools doing, almost everything. Lesson planning, grading, even generating personalized materials.
Exactly. So the central question for us is pretty profound, I think. Does this AI integration primarily redefine the teacher's role towards maximizing, instructional efficiency and personalized learning, getting the best outcomes via the machine? Or does it really redefine the role more towards compensating for what the machine can't do, the human interpretation, the emotional context, the sheer chaos of a real classroom? I'll be arguing that the primary shift here is really one of maximizing that instructional efficiency.
And I'll maintain that the teacher's most critical and evolving function is actually compensating for those deep conceptual and emotional gaps inherent in the machine itself. That the role of human context manager is, it's irreplaceable and becoming central.
Well, the evidence for efficiency, I think, points to a radical structural shift. The teacher in our source material describes the AI platform as an instructional coach who never sleeps. And now that phrasing is powerful. This tool moves the teacher beyond just delivering content to becoming really an architect of personalized learning environments. And crucially, the AI-generated highly differentiated reading passages, strategic peer pairings. It led one student to feel a passage was made for me. That specific outcome, that ability to scale superior personalization, that's the professional evolution right there. The teacher's expertise gets focused on optimizing the system to reach every kid, not just the middle, fundamentally changing their job from subject matter mastery to mastering pedagogical design architecture.
Okay, but I come at it from a different way. You're focusing on the optimized output, which, yes, is impressive on paper. But the teacher explicitly defined themselves as the interpreter, the bridge between human experience and machine efficiency. The necessity of that bridge, for me, defines the evolved role. The machine just lacks vital, situated cognition. It doesn't process that, Juan gets severe anxiety during transitions, or that Tasha completely shuts down when she's hungry. It doesn't register the nonverbal cues, the fidgeting, the look in their eyes that signal real comprehension or frustration. So the AI output might be instructionally optimized in a vacuum, but it's basically instructionally inert until it's filtered through the teacher's human understanding of that behavioral context, that emotional reality. The evolution, I think, is defined by the absolute necessity of providing that missing layer of wisdom.
I see why you elevate the interpretation role. I do. But doesn't it risk sort of subordinating the genuinely revolutionary efficiency gains? The source notes that by the spring, the teacher shifted their language. They stopped saying using AI and started saying learning with AI. Now that implies collaboration, right? Not remediation. The teacher's expertise is applied to the highly efficient output to make it even better, enhancing their intellectual role as a high-level curator, if you will. If the AI can instantly generate, say, 30 differentiated passages, isn't the teacher's time best spent curating the 3 best options, rather than manually tracking all those low-level emotional data points?
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that the necessity of being a bridge is merely a curatorial task. To me, it underscores the machine's failure in arguably the most crucial domain of education, understanding the student as a whole, developing person. If the AI cannot account for fundamental emotional or physiological realities like hunger or anxiety, its instructional suggestions demand heavy, constant human judgment and filtering. The new cognitive load for the teacher is defined by this continuous validation against real-time classroom chaos. If the machine can't sense the difference between a kid truly getting it and one who's just, complying socially, then the teacher's primary non-delegated professional responsibility has to be providing that sense. That filtering is the core job now.
But doesn't that efficiency, the very thing you seem to be downplaying, ultimately enable better empathy? The source material specifically notes the AI reminded the teacher why they teach, the core mission to reach every single child. By taking over the, let's be honest, often rote mechanics of differentiation, the teacher gains bandwidth. They are no longer spending 2 hours cranking out materials. They're potentially freed up to use that exact time for the kind of qualitative observation that alerts them to Tasha's hunger or Juan's anxiety. Surely efficiency doesn't erode empathy. It provides the psychological and, frankly, the practical space for the teacher to exercise it more fully.
Well, that's a compelling point about the potential time savings, I'll grant you that. Though I would frame the trade-off differently. I don't think the teacher is gaining free time for observation so much as they are exchanging one kind of load, the mechanical load of material creation, for a different, arguably more complex, cognitive load. This is the high-stakes responsibility of constantly overriding, verifying, or contextualizing machine outputs. This shift makes the teacher, in effect, an emotional stabilizer and a pedagogical risk manager. The vaunted efficiency of the machine's output is entirely contingent on the teacher's successful moment-to-moment compensation for its blindness to human context. So the irreplaceable function still remains the teacher's non-quantifiable skill set, making the role of human context expert the most demanding and, I'd argue, the most essential part of this evolution.
So ultimately, I stand by the idea that AI compels the teacher's role to evolve primarily toward maximizing efficiency and personalization. It provides these incredibly sophisticated, unmatched tools, and the teacher's future is defined by their capacity to master these tools, scaling their impact, and yes, elevating their position to that of a learning system optimizer.
And conversely, I see the new primary responsibility as mitigating the machine's inherent and perhaps unavoidable lack of human and emotional context. The teacher's evolving role is defined most critically by the need to be that essential interpreter and emotional stabilizer, ensuring that instruction remains grounded in the messy, human reality of the classroom, not just in optimized data streams.
It seems the productive tension between the scalable efficiency of this technology and the irreplaceable necessity of human empathy is, well, it's clearly going to be the defining narrative for education moving forward.
And it forces us all to continuously reassess which parts of teaching are about knowledge transfer and which parts, perhaps the most important parts, require genuine human wisdom,